Should parents be pulling their kids out of the standardized tests next week?
You know, that's a parent's decision. Okay, I think the parents ought to be informed. Okay, and based on the information that they have, based on it's a personal choice, and that's a choice that the state should not take away from them.
So as a union, you're not recommending one way or another what people should do?
How can we, even if I want to say yes, but there are different point of views. To me, the important thing over here is the choice that a parent is able to make, for their children, for their child.
And we also need to stop the over-reliance on standardized testing. They keep testing more, putting more pressure on our students, and tying teachers' evaluations to test scores, and there's a lot more that goes into teaching than just a number on a state test score. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. A test score doesn't define who a student is, and it doesn't define who a teacher is.
I'm hearing a lot of folks say that kids should refuse to get tested next week. Can you explain that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. The testing is definitely something that is a parent's choice, and parents should read up, get information about the New York State test. A lot of them, the tests are invalid and unreliable tests, and yet the New York State is doubling down and forcing these tests to take place, when more should be done to make sure that we are seeing that they're valid and reliable.
Kids are being tested too much, that the public is against what Governor Cuomo is doing to public education. Public education is a civil right. Every child in the state has the right to have a good and fair public education. 98% of the schools, public schools in New York State, are successful. You don't punish 98% of the schools for 2% that aren't doing well. Instead, you take the money and you fund those schools and make them better. You don't ruin the whole structure just because of that. So call out Cuomo, because he's the problem, not education.
Can I have your name and affiliation?
My name is Kathy Taylor, and I serve on the Board of Directors for New York State United Teachers. I'm a teacher for 22 years, and I love education.
What is your call to action today? Why have you come out to this rally?
Well, let me just start off by saying right off the bat that although I'm on the Board of Education of the Wappinger Central School District, I'm not speaking for the board, I'm speaking just for myself. That being said, I'm here in support of the teachers, that I think that there's too much testing. I don't like the way things have been coming down to us from Albany, and as a result, I want to show them that I am supporting them in their statewide efforts to get things changed, something more equitable for the students as well as for the teachers.
Now, there's a lot of controversy, and I see some signs about testing next week, and whether or not parents should allow their kids to take the standardized tests. Have you an opinion on that one way or another?
Sure. Well, I think it's unfortunate in this last budget that they did not do more at the state level to try to rectify the standardized testing issue that came up last year with the implementation of Common Core. We were hoping that they would roll it back, or at least upgrade it to a way that made it more user-friendly, and our education system didn't rely so heavily on standardized testing. But they kept it the same, and in fact they pretty much made sure that it's a permanent part of education system, and I'm very disappointed with that. And so I think this opt-out plan is a way to push back on that and try to get the legislature to do something.
So are you recommending to parents to pull their kids out of testing next week?
Well, I think it's important to follow this lead right now, because until we show that our state government that we're not happy with the way things are going, there's really no other choice. So since these tests really don't count towards the students' overall grade average, then they're really just a political exercise that really is doing no one any good at this point in time.